I'm hearing that people are saying mixed emotions about 5-2. Right, let's rewind 3 hours ago. Hi mate, what do you think the result will be? 5-2 to Liverpool. I'll take that, but no, that's impossible. What a game, what a game. First thing to say is that there are some managers that ignore the history of the club and just do it their way and do not ask anybody to go on board. They just do it their way. There's others that says, look, we're giving you a spectacle, watch it and clap and go home happy. And there are others that want you to be part of it. And what's happened here has been amazing. Klopp has managed, as the director of this very well-tuned, or quite well-tuned orchestra, he's managed to get us all involved. And that is such an amazing thing to do when you remember that more and more, every single person in the stadium here tonight, they are managers, they know more than you and me and Klopp. So to get them all singing from the same song sheet, amazing, fantastic. And it is necessary as well. I was at half time asking around, have you seen a team like this that when they've got the ball they turn around and they go forward and they always find somebody in space? That needs a lot of drilling, and then they've got 4 chances to pass the ball. Yes, will do. And then just keep attacking after the second goal, after the third one. And somebody said, Borussia Dortmund. Of course it is. It's a club team. It's very much a club team. And it links so well with what the Cup, what Anfield is about. For somebody that has been to a lot of Liverpool games through the years, and for even all the people like me that have been to other European nights, and there's been magic ones, they say it's been the most scintillating semi-final European night that they've seen perhaps in their time. So this is what we'd actually witnessed. But we'd also witnessed the non-perfect team. Liverpool is not a perfect team. But in the first 20 minutes, actually, when Roma knew very clearly how to attack Liverpool, and Liverpool were adjusting, they did adjust, and that's a sign of maturity, of course. It was very clear that they decided to attack long ball to Dzeko on the left-hand side of the attack, or when they had the opportunity, Onda was running in space, the young Turkish lad, in behind the defence, and as soon as the ball got to the midfield, the ball went to him. He was not up for the fight tonight. Physically, he was too light. But he was the only fast player that Roma had. So after a little while, and everybody realised who they had to defend and how to stop Dzeko, one behind him, one in front of him when he got the ball, and then they switched on the pressure. Liverpool became Liverpool. And the thing about Liverpool is that they become more dangerous when they lose the ball, or say as dangerous as when Salah has it, is when actually they lose the ball because of the work of Milner and Henderson especially, but also the forwards. They, as you know, they hound the ball back, they get the possession back, and then it's when the opposition defence is completely disorganised, and that's how the first couple of goals came. This was very well deserved. Forget the fact that Karius missed that shoot from outside the box that hit the bar. It would have happened. You could see it after 3 chances, a couple from Mane. You could see that Liverpool were going to get the first goal, but it had to be Salah. And I wrote on Twitter that Salah has got a look of Messi about him, meaning a knack for the opportunity, for choosing the right moment, technique, effectiveness, calmness. Appearance in space when he shouldn't have space, like in the edge of the box, inside the box, and the ability to do something with it when you don't expect it, to put the ball in the right place, to touch it with the technique that he did for the second goal as well, requires a calm head, requires a lot of confidence, being in the flow. That's what Salah is on. He of course needs to do it for a decade to be able to call another Messi, but right now, at this particular time, he is as important to his team as Messi is, no doubt about it. And a lot of people have been saying, well, it was a mistake to replace him later in the game. No, it wasn't. At that particular time, 5-0, you had to give him a rest. But he wasn't the only one whose legs were giving up. And that's the other side of Liverpool, of course. It's impossible to do what they do for 90 minutes. Once they go 5-0 up, is almost over, of course. You should say that it's going to be very difficult to turn that round. But yes, even though in the first 20 minutes they managed to adjust, in the second half, in the last 20 minutes, they just couldn't. And they couldn't because they made to play that way, where they need to pressure high, they need to, as they get the ball, you could see even at the end, the fullbacks going forward, manage the game, the emotions of an Anfield that is demanding more and more and more. And when you actually have been built that way, it's nearly impossible. So that's what they show, that they're not the perfect team, but certainly today it was the perfect night. Even 5-2, it's one of those that you take home, stays in the memory. Has to be finished in Rome, of course, but just the fact that you can, after 90 minutes of football, and it wasn't 90 minutes, we were all in the pub for a couple of hours before the game, and I would say celebrating the night, celebrating that there was a semi-final after 10 years, celebrating the fact that there is an identifying, the fans are identified with the style and with the coach. All those things were part of the preparation, part of the way to Anfield. And once we were here, it was just exciting, very exciting. 90 minutes that lifts you. And that's what football should be about, especially at a time where we're actually watching games and thinking, yeah, that was okay. Anyway, who are they? Who are those players? How do they relate to us? How does the manager relate to us? Why don't we feel what we used to feel about football? Anfield, Club, Liverpool have made us feel how we used to feel about Liverpool. But the job is not done. Roma showed at the end that there's much more to them that we've seen for an hour in this game. So we'll have to go to Roma. And why not? Next, I'm off to Munich to see Bayern Real Madrid, and I'll be doing a preview from the stadium and also to interview Philip Lahm on Thursday. Very much looking forward to it. On the way from Munich, I'll be going to Madrid, to Arsenal for the semi-final of the Europa League. So it's a busy week. Don't forget, subscribe if you got the opportunity, if you like what you see, and do comment. Let me know what you thought of, if you were in Anfield, even if you were not in Anfield, what you thought of the game tonight. Okay, cheers, man.